Hello, I'm John Megling, System Engineer from Microsoft Protect Data. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Microsoft Assessment Planning Tool and how it can bring value to you and your customers when they're migrating from their on-premise solutions to the cloud or to private cloud or to virtualization. Today's purposes, we're going to go ahead and we're not actually going to do the install, but we're going to go ahead and assume that the tool is already installed on the PC. This is an example. This is just a Windows 8.1 PC that I have, and as you can see, the map tool, it creates an icon. Looks like this, Microsoft Assessment Planning Toolkit. But anyways, once you launch it, this is the interface you're going to be working out of. So when you start looking at the map tool, I've already got results in it, but the thing to start with is always you want to come into the overview screen. The overview screen, again, as we're going to be talking about this today, the map tool does a lot of things. The main thing to remember for this particular video is we're going to be focusing on the 2003 again to 2012 migrations. But as you can see, we have several scenarios. And, again, these scenarios are great because what it allows us to do is we collect the same information, and we can use it for different scenarios that we actually have. So when you look at the actual tool, we'll go ahead and launch it here. As you can see, I'm running version 9.2, which is the latest at the recording of this video. I want to bring this up because, again, this one I don't have an inventory in. So when we look at it, again, we come in the inventory, there is a getting starting guide, which links us out to the Microsoft website, which is a really great resource on how to use the map tool. When we take a look at that, it'll actually link us over straight to the Microsoft site to actually get that done. Again, a lot of good stuff here that goes over, so you have some resources on the actual tool. But when we look at it itself, the first thing we're going to see is performing an inventory. So what we need to do is actually inventory the servers that we're thinking about migrating. So when you look at it, take a look at my sample environment that I did for this migration. I had a couple 2003, this is a Hyper-V manager anyways, but I've got a couple domain controllers that are 2003 based, an application server that's 2003 based. And then I've got, just to show, again, different things customers may have, I've got a 2008 file server, and I've got some workstations that are connected to this. No big deal, just kind of a simulated environment that a lot of our small, medium customers might have. The good thing is these principles are the same whether we're dealing with small, medium customers or more medium to enterprise customers. So when you look at it, again, the inventory is the first step that we have to do. If we start looking at the different things that we're interested in, maybe it's a server migration. Again, everything's revolving around the inventory. So when we go into the overview, just to kind of show you the inventory, when we hit it gives us a wizard. We have several options here on the scenarios that we want to take a look at. Windows computers, Linux computers, VMware. Like I said, it does a ton of different things. Exchange environments, link environments, Oracle. As you can see on the screen, there's lots of different stuff here. But what we're focusing on today is the Windows side of it. So we'll go ahead and just click the Windows piece and hit Next. Again, a couple different ways that we can actually do the discovery. We can do it by networking protocols. It has hooks to Configuration Manager. We can do an IP address range. Again, as you can see here, different options. But what most of the time you're going to use is at your customer site is Active Directory domain services. So when we hit Next, we just put in our domain that we're interested in. We add a domain account. And then we give it our password for the domain account, and we hit Next, and it's off to giving us the results. So no big deal there. We're not going to finish that because I've already done that in this other environment that I have, which we're going to switch over to. So after we scan the environment, we're going to go, our information will come back into the tool, and we'll start looking more like how you see it now. So it tells us the inventory that came back, in my case, at 11 machines. 7 of which were inventoried. That's why we're at the 64%. And this just tells us the time it took to actually do the collection. We can also tab through the different options here on the left. So hopefully you can see my mouse screen here. We can tab through these different options on the left, or we can actually hit the actual different options in here in the different scenarios. This kind of explains, gives you a nice overview of the different scenarios. For example, the server scenarios, discovery readiness assessments for 2012 to 2008 R2, different things we have here. The neat thing is when we get these results, we can also look at it. Maybe we're considering an on-site server migration or a cloud-based migration. So the neat thing is it takes us right. We don't have to do the inventory again and again and again. Once we've done the inventory, we can fit it into different scenarios and compare those scenarios. So maybe we want to compare a server scenario to a cloud scenario, that type of thing. Or maybe even we're considering server virtualization. Maybe the older environment 03 wasn't virtualized, and now we are. Now we want to go virtualized. I hope you found this session useful, and if you want to learn more about other Microsoft Cloud solutions, check out our other sessions. Thank you very much for attending.